international stage.
And VARREL have said, and the Japanese talent agreed, this is the strongest team in Japanese history. You bring these imports in, you're hoping to bolster them enough to try and get out of the group. This is an elimination game, so they have to bring their A game.
Lijiang Tower, the first map. ROC going with the ban at the bat. No Cassidy available either as VARREL banned that one out.
Yeah, ROC is the higher seed. Usually pick Ilios, that's not going to be in the pool. Boost on as well, but they went against Crazy Raccoon and Lijiang Tower. They went all the way to round 3, so this is a strong control map for them.
Gates open, elimination match. VARREL and ROC on their last lifeline. A lot of keys are going to get crushed today. Another one after this series. Slay on the Allari. I am loving this. A tough map to actually play Allari on. A few nice little pylon spots that can heal the team, especially if you kind of stick it to the roof, but very much a slow comp. Basically, allowing Top Dragon to play as a solo operator is going to be where their success lies. He was a one-man army, and I'm glad Avril pointed out on the desk. The guy just dominates when he has his way. We're
looking to see where Top Dragon's going to end up, trying to circle around, take that server control, so we could see the Allari pylons get set up and have a more stationary base, but also ROC Esports can move around because of the symmetric teleport, taking that coast side.
Lucio, Curie, and they're not going fast. That was a very easy fight win there for VARREL. You're against the Allari. If you just run at her, she's only got one outburst. She's not going to be able to survive too long. Power force and throw in a Suzu, but if you're ROC right now, you need to go.
They should. They're trying to take that server control, and Dia, front position, big first pick.
Yeah, easy kill for Dia there. Slay used the outburst, caught in the Ravenous Vortex. They do trade though, Top Dragon again. Oh, there's the pylon down, and they've swapped sides here, but Cloud's chilling. He's got the swift step, and good luck actually pinning down the Kiriko. That was a nice 1080p shot of the water bottle there.
Yeah, you kill a support, and ROC Esports were up in the fight, but just couldn't keep the rally going. VARREL are halfway to the cap. They'll have Kitsune rush, but Chamomile has the advantage.
Yeah, Bellisria and KSG using that Nemesis form. Kitsune rush on the point for Chamomile, and VARREL disengage entirely. Cloud making the call potentially here that, well, we could just re-engage ASAP. I've got my Russian about 3% or so, and there it is. Through server onto the point. Bellisria trying to hold down the front lines, but Nico in the sidelines. 16 HP remains, but Taejong hot on his heels. Nico tried to updraft, but couldn't escape the wrath of those pulse pistols. Dia now dueling out with Top Dragon on this high ground, but VARREL haven't given up the point just yet. Slay lands a nice shot onto Taejong, and a missed pulse bomb. This means Taejong has to back up, but still manages to get the kill onto Slay as VARREL gets 79%.
Yeah, Kitsune rush wasn't even enough to flip the point. VARREL had such a good disengage, and now they built up some ultimates to re-engage with. Slay's been getting picked. It's been not enough of an impact to really swing things decisively in ROC Esports' favor. Barrier advantage plus annihilation. That's really what's going to set Bellisria apart.
Captive Sun available for VARREL. Could be cleansed with the Suzu. Bellisria going super low though. They're going to have to back up. Annihilation popped as soon as Dia tried to step up and get an angle with that overclock. Sound barrier comes in, but KSG is going to be able to survive this. Captive Sun on the point, connects with Bellisria, and he just explodes. A million pieces scattered across Lijiang Tower as VARREL dominate ROC on the point, get the cap.
That barrier from Langston was so late. Dia is getting walked on by KSG with annihilation. You needed to try and match the tempo of VARREL, and that costed the fight. You didn't even have the annihilation out of Bellisria, and VARREL about to win the first round.
Holding towards these doors now as well, and Top Dragon, the solo operator with the pulse bomb. Nemesis form already pushed by Bellisria. He's going to have to Nemesis form, and then annihilation way away from the point. KSG though does get booped into the team as they use the rush to gain the space required. 99% for VARREL, but this fight is done.
Kitsune rush saves ROC Esports, buys them a few more fights, but they Taejong got owned.
Yeah. They tried to swing the corner there and try and tag Top Dragon, but Nico was kind of waiting in the shadows. It's got the bolus shot too. Waiting outside the server room right now as VARREL go for the flip, as the entirety of ROC Esports turn tail and kill Top Dragon. SCT overtime now as Nico makes a heroic play onto Mini. Kills Dia, and now KSG can have his way with the backline. A rush on the point is too much for ROC to stand up against. Riyadh ends up falling. And without point control, you can't go for the dub, but ROC Esports, they've only got one member alive to really go for the touch. Lengtser, I'm not sure he's even going to be able to get there before he's going to get killed off. He's going to attempt to get in, but no, it's Taejong with a pulse bomb in his back pocket that gets the OT.
Oh, that's unfortunate. KSG, big tank gap in his favor, and you had NiKo, big critical picks on those 2 DPS. Very crazy flips back and forth. The team's prioritizing winning the war, not just the fight, letting the objective slip by, because it's about positioning on server and on the perimeter. You don't want to be caught out in the open. Just better coordination from the orange side. You saw that kind of slip away from blue side.
Longest range pulse missile shots there from Taejong. Yeah, that was a big mistake that you highlighted perfectly. Lemon was Lengtser with the late sound barrier. Dia was trying to wide swing around the center of the point with the overclock to look down that corridor, but got caught out by the Annihilation, by that Vortex. Gonna go to Night Market now as our second round, and Riyadh, we know he's a tank player, a ball player specifically when he played back in the Overwatch League, but on the Winston now.
Yeah, being able to hold the space a lot better, but the mines, I think, are just better for this point. But now you just die with Taejong, and it's good synergy.
Well, they're chasing Top Dragon. My guy is out of there. Riyadh is getting absolutely rolled by the Tracer.
Primal could get value, also getting environmentals. You can't deny what Riyadh can do with that. And
yeesh.
No Cassidy, too, to try and deny.
Yeah, that's a quick
Winston.
Kill. On to Slay. Again, very tough. Very immobile is the Alari. KSG has to back out of there. They don't even get the cap, unfortunately. It was just too quick of an engage from ROC, but Top Dragon solo operating in the backline, gets taken care of by Taejong, but it took 3 people to do it.
Yeah, it's so chaotic, but ROC are so much better at getting organized, but dropping Chamomile is very bad.
Cloud is looking clean with it on the Kiriko. Jumps into the point, uses that second swift step to get out of there. They do end up capping, but it's not a clean one, as VARREL still have positioning outside of the choke.
Cloud is missing, so ROC will be able to keep the cap after all, even despite losing Chamomile and a lot of the healing as a result. I wonder if NiKo's going to want to swap to the Sojourn, but clearly the threat hasn't been generated enough from Riyadh.
Slay is actually inside choke right now. It's a very dangerous place to be all on his lonesome, and yeah, Cloud ends up going down, just squished by Riyadh. And Anton to a boot. A couple of take aim shots. I think this fight is done and dusted. I mean, Top Dragon doesn't have a recall, but oh, neither does Taejong.
Still, ROC Esports should be able to keep control here, and you're coming up with some ults. Kitsune Rush to overwhelm KSG.
Okay, now the kills are gonna come a-flowing. KSG ends up going down, Rush forced on the points, and ROC continue to hold.
This is tough. VARREL have not been able to force the flip. They think they have the space, but then ROC re-engage with the Kitsune Rush, and they still have Barrier and Primal. This is going to extend ROC to probably a 99% overtime, unless VARREL get a clean wipe.
Riyadh can play so aggro now with that Primal Rage. Actually just jumps into the Sport. Captive Sun being used as well as he boops NiKo through the high ground. That high ground window. Okay, sound barrier. That's a big Captive Sun connection though. Detonations, a couple, but not enough to actually secure any kills as NiKo falls. They just trade though, and with the rush advantage, it's going to put them in good stead on the point. They've got Annihilation and Pulse Bomb as well to hold on if they need to, but they eventually get the flip. Can they actually get these stagger kills though?
All the sustain from ROC was awesome. The Sound Bear to counter the Captive Sun, the Primal to recontest and get ROC Esports still in control, but VARREL are going to pop the Annihilation.
Yep. Dia is in. I mean, has he got a plan of escape? He used that second dash to get away, now healed up by the Lucio, but that was an extremely early Suzu from Chamomile at the very start of the fight, and KSG saw that, just ran at them with Nemesis form.
Slay has been so key for VARREL to get a lot of these picks, acting as that third DPS. I mean, you're not going to be able to sit with the pylons, but you're doing your best to add on to the equation of Top Dragon and NiKo. A big reason VARREL were even able to flip in the first place after all the sustain that came out with the barrier from Lengtser.
Oh, also I'm going a little bit wide. All good though. A lot of poke damage on the side of VARREL, but because these rushes are desynced, ROC now has that advantage. They can just push in with it. There's no defensive ult from VARREL either because they're running the Alari. Half railgun shot there from Dia, but gets instantly vortexed, but managed to just slide out rather easily. Now the Russian point, they've completely flipped this on its head.
KSG were good at guarding the door to try and stop everyone from following up with Belos. It took the Kitsune rush to go and regroup with ROC Esports. The point is in favor of ROC, though.
Yeah, good cleanse there onto Dia, saves his life from the Ravenous Vortex. Taejong goes down to Cloud as OT approaches for ROC. KSG is looking a little bit worse for wear now as Slay heals him up using that right click close to the Captive Sun, and same it could be said for that rush. That's a whole lot of ults on the point. Oh, Benestraea blocks the Captive Sun though with the bubble. Primal Rage available too, but he's so low on the point. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think he even needs it. KSG and the rest of VARREL running out of steam here on Night Market. A Primal Rage, a wave of hello and a goodbye to Slay, as Benestraea picks up the final kill in that round as they tie control.
Important engages coming out of Benestraea. Forced Nico to get off the DPS and to the Sojourn, from the Freya to the Sojourn. You just saw how he was constantly squished, and then you can't underestimate how Taejong was running around. Important though to mention Taejong get an important triple kill in that final fight to swing things back in favor of ROC Esports, and a round 3 as a result.
All right, it got one there, but instantly cleansed. Nice bubble. If that lands on the Winston there, you're forced to pop Primal a little bit earlier than you'd want.
So Night Market up next, and not a Hammond swap from Benestraea, just really needing that staying power of the bubble, plus the Primal to stall if you have control. We're gonna have the Tracer Mirror, but Nico is back on the Freya. We'll see if they'll swap to the Sojourn. All depends on the lethality created by Benestraea.
Good positioning though from ROC already. They've taken the center pylon, forced the recall from Top Dragon, who's currently playing in White Room. Taejong deciding whether he wants to give chase. Yeah, Top Dragon, he can't really peek his little head into this fight.
First cap case, she's around the corner. Will climb in to try and deny. He's hoping to burst down with the shotguns into the Winston, but he's gonna have to block.
Yeah, there's the point cap as well. KSG couldn't get there in time to cause a contest. Forces the Suzu from the Kiriko, but KSG's just completely out of position as Lengsa descends on him.
The focus fire from ROC Esports is too good. KSG bowed out of that 1v1. ROC Esports had better synergy, and they're farming up all these kills. It's going to be an ult advantage for ROC.
I hate to say it, but I think the Illari is a little bit of a throw here from VARREL. You've got to go a little bit quicker with the Lucio. It's a lot of upfront damage, and it's great when you have the point, but actually pushing into a team with the Illari, you're hoping you can get a headshot, Top Dragon can finish off somebody, or maybe Nico can, but it's very, very hard if you're Slay right now. A lot is resting on your shoulders to guarantee some headshots onto someone like Dia.
Yeah, Slay and Nico just need a stable position. They need to help KSG in this tank war, but he's bubbled off from the rest of the team.
Pulse bomb available from Taejong as well. Look at KSG's health bar just melt. No spike guard remains. He jumps through the window, sniped and dunked into the water beneath. Although VARREL still think they can win this fight. They've used the rush on the point, but a lot of that bubble health is just there for them to shoot. That's it. Benestraea was hiding and protecting the rest of his team. An overclock pulled here by Dia. Not too many people to shoot at, but yeah, no, Cloud gives him the one at least.
Yeah, investing those ults 4v5. Sometimes you got to take those risks when you have the opportunities, but ROC Esports counter with a barrier, and that's all she wrote. Slay didn't have the Captive Sun to try and shave down those shields, so VARREL are going to be behind in this, 25% away for ROC to get this first map under the belt, and they have a Kitsune rush.
Nico's on a decent angle, and Taejong is actually getting chased by Top Dragon right now. Takes the mini, doesn't get the mega health back though. Ooh, nice shot from Dia. Engine still running here from ROC. Captive Sun. Dia isolated now thanks to the wall. This Primal Rage is looking dirty though from Benestraea. Just completely isolating KSG. He's trying to run, but he can't hide. Benestraea takes them out with ease, and KSG didn't even get to use the downpour. It is 99% VARREL in control, but their health bars are waning. Top Dragon kills Taejong, sure, but how long can they contest this point?
Benestraea is tank gapping KSG. Overtime's about to dwindle away, and VARREL has to touch. KSG is there, and he has the ult. The Reaper by his side. They have to pull through.
Dia does end up going down to Top Dragon, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and Nico's already used the shift. They tear it down. Oh, it connects with a couple, but the follow-up damage is required. Benestraea still a menace on the point. Ain't no monkeying around for him, as VARREL are just decimated on this. They can't do anything quicker. Benestraea just molding them like clay in his hands as ROC take map 1.
On their map pick as well, the Nico Reaper, I think, came out too late. I would have liked to seen that earlier. An answer to blow up this Winston, who Bellosuria was so good at bubbling off KSG, made it so he couldn't get any heals, had to block all the time, and never really had the edge against Bellosuria. And yeah, the Winston never got moved off his perch. ROC Esports then could rely on Bellosuria to take point, and the rest of the DPS to circle around VARREL, who just kept committing ults in situations in 4v5s, but the risk never paid off. And then the following fights, they didn't have the ults, so VARREL risked it for the biscuit and came out dry.
Control, historically, is a very quick map, and yeah, the Alari is just not hitting right now for Slay. Like you mentioned before, a lot of the Japanese scene saying like, hey, the strongest team we've ever put together for an international competition here. So they want them to do well. And Garpo agrees. One of the Japanese casters was saying like, hey, truly believe that VARREL has what it takes, but we'll see what kind of map they go to. Definitely going to be a slower one if they want to stick with the same thing.
Yeah. They chose Circuit Royale against Crazy Raccoon when they did drop that, and hard to know where their map selections are going to be when they went, like I said, VARREL went 9-0 in groups, didn't drop a map in playoffs. So Circuit would be the choice, I guess, but gotta try and force map 3 or it's over for Japan.
Yeah, first to 3, of course, so there's a couple of chances. It's good to see Dia back on stage as well. Very historied player. And Kamamao, the classic, like, okay, every single year, one of the Chinese superstars is going to change their name. Shout out Farway, shout out Mew, Xerneas, Yveltal, etc. Molly keeping that tradition alive. It's good to see a lot of the Japanese fans in the audience as well, coming out in droves to support VARREL.
I think Circuit would be great to try and force a mirror brawl and get Bellosuria off Hazard, Winston, Hammond, not as good on Circuit, so, but maybe VARREL not so happy with their showing when they lost 1-3 against Crazy Raccoon on that map, but brawl has to be the choice to try and get KSG ahead in the tank duel.
Very high elim game, 107 elims for ROC versus the 63 on the side of VARREL. Doing a lot more damage is VARREL here, just because their composition, like the poke, is a lot stronger for them. Yeah, I think Circuit Royale might be the place to go. We'll find out in just a moment, but what do you ban here if you go to Circuit?
If you're ROC, I mean, it depends on if you feel stronger on the Orisa versus the Ram, where I think for ROC, they care more about kind of deciding the DPS duel, where usually they want to get rid of Sim. They are not as good on the Symmetra, at least not as confident on the Symmetra, although Taejong has brought it out if needed. But they've opted for the Taejong Venture in those mirrors if they need to. But Bellosuria can play both Ram and Venture, or Ram and Orisa. So I think it's going to be about trying to make the DPS uncomfortable.
It's hard to make Top Dragon uncomfortable, though, to be fair. Banning Tracer is going to hinder you a little bit too. And if you're going to a map like not Lijiang, sorry, Circuit Royale, probably don't want to ban that anyway.
A lot of VARREL's bans come around maybe trying to deny the Symmetra if they're worried about the mirror, but it's a lot about designing the backlines, getting rid of Alaris, getting rid of Lucios, getting rid of Kirikos. So trying to force up the matchup that they want. Where Slay, I think, had his impact on the second round playing the Alari, but there was never a point where they could have a stable area to stay in with the pylons, get picks. Nico had to constantly also swap to different DPS. I like the Reaper at the end, but too little too late to try and blow up that Winston. But VARREL should try to bring us to a map where we won't see that Winston.
Circuit, I mean, you don't ideally want to go to a flashpoint if you just want to play slow. Both teams still making sure they got their picks locked in. Same with the bans. There is the map pool, of course. Midtown might not be too bad either. Looks like it is going to be Circuit Royale, in fact. So we're going to an escort. A team favorite at this point in time, and VARREL bans Lucio. Okay, yeah, this makes a whole lot of sense. ROC going with the Orisa ban second.
Trying to force the Ram mirror, then you're going to have the Junos in play. All depends on what the second flex DPS is going to be? Are we thinking a BAP? It could be the Alari from Slay. We've seen that from other teams. We've seen it from them. But it's also the Tracer matchup, and not just, okay, who's mechanically better, but the choices of whether you want to give your tank the edge and just play your Tracer from front to back, deal with the tanks and everyone after. There's not a lot of flank routes on Circuit Royale, so I'm looking towards Taejong and Top Dragon to really help out Riyadh and KSG.
Only ban Lucio once in the series, of course, as well. So if you do end up taking this one, maybe a faster map for ROC, I think it would be a big thorn in the side for VARREL going to a flashpoint. We're loading on in now. A couple of signs for the casters there. Shout out the Japanese ones over in Japan, broadcasting from there.
I love their cast. They have the Japanese players also do poses at the end of kind of fighting, but they're equivalent of that. It's just so much fun. So many good personalities on the side of VARREL. I'm a big fan of KSG, especially how polite and professional he is and the poses he pops at the end.
All right, it's going to be ROC starting on the offense. So we get to see what VARREL want to do on defense as the players are loading in now. Just having a small little DM before. Wouldn't mind seeing the Sigma either come through. Obviously, we saw that in our first series today. Virtus.pro kind of a master on that map, showing a masterclass on the Sig and long-range hit scan.
DPS not being touched in the bans, so Symmetra's on the table, all the hit scans available. So we've seen the Freyas and the Sojourns, mostly the Freyas. You only swapped the Sojourn, at least in this series, when the Riyadh became a huge factor. So it'll be up to Nico and Dia to face off against each other.
Let's load on in then. Map number 2, VARREL and ROC. Right now, ROC leading the series after that 2-1 affair on Lijiang Tower. First to 3 here in this lower bracket run. And the loser gets their key crushed, and their journey will end today. VARREL on the defense, Slay sticking on the Alari, Cloud on the BAP as they have Top Dragon, Mei.
Yeah, it's a risk for the Mei. You're trying to find that Mei wall behind the tank in just that window where they're going to be out of block, out of shield, out of cooldowns, and try and punish that Slay on the Alari. If he can settle in, he can frag out as well. Dia with the Mercy Pocket looking for a pick on opposite jumper, but even just cracking armor is important. Not going to get anything.
Yep, straight to the Freya though. Okay, Dia versus Nico on the Freya battle.
Lanksa too on the Alari. You don't see that too often, and with Lucio banned, he's got to do something, and no Juno. So this is going to be a poke war, no speed available from either side. VARREL kind of playing scared around the corner, not putting a lot of poke into ROC.
I do worry for ROC though. They haven't got this Mei. They've got a lot of upfront damage with Taejong on the Soj. Something that historically Taejong has been very crispy on.
Good pressure into the Mei, so you're not being close enough to find these Mei walls. And Top Dragon's kind of separated away, and Taejong is going to be careful with how he approaches.
Yeah, Riyadh has to err on the side of caution in a lot of these pushes around this corner. Although Top Dragon's been forced out, and that's going to be the big problem for the Mei. He's kind of holding off onto the side, actually a defensive wall just for himself, but ends up going down. A right click from Taejong. Through the choke, kills the Mei, and now KSG is in trouble.
Yeah, just the double hit scan from ROC is overwhelming KSG. Doesn't let VARREL hold their space and have a setup for the Mei. So Top Dragon 30% away from the Blizzard, but this should be a cap for ROC.
Yeah, Riyadh is getting owned right now by Nico. That's a early Polish shot. Dia is not too far behind, about 80%. Ooh, does land one shot onto Chamomile, but it's all good. 2 and a bit meters to go, and this window is going to be a big thorn in the side. A bowler shot from around the corner, and Nico gets shot with a dart through the window. Easy as you like. A captive sun onto Chamomile, and the lamp deployed means no initial kill, but Cloud with the follow-up is going to be good for it.
I can't believe VARREL's still able to anchor, but wait, adaptive Captive Sun.
Captive Sun onto Cloud. Oh, he goes down before the detonation even comes through. Lanksa chasing after Slay. Supportal combat for ROC now as both of them take down their opposition. Lanksa finds the kill onto KSG, and that's a cap on first.
VARREL anchored for a lot longer than I expected. KSG looked the window at Chamomile in the face, but such good block management, and then Cloud was able to counter window so they could zone off ROC Esports, and then it came down to the Blizzard that bought some time for VARREL, but ultimately the double hit scan, so much lethality coming out of this duo from ROC Esports. Some time being taken away from the VARREL side, now needing a point to stabilize. Annihilation is what we're looking forward to. Riyadh slightly ahead of KSG in that battle.
At least they get to hold here. There was no crazy stagger kills on the side of ROC. Taejong uses this overclock. He's got a good angle, actually, on the players afflicted with that Ravenous Vortex. Aren't quite find too much, though. Only a little damage on the tank at the front line. Slay with an overpeak, but doesn't end up going down to the Sojourn.
I mean, ROC Esports are getting so much free progress just on point A. KSG's going to play this corner, but he is kind of zoning himself off. He's going to pop the Annihilation.
Yeah, but Bellis is holding on to his, so if they can survive this and back off, that's -1 ult now for VARREL.
Yeah, good disengage from ROC, and now they can just counter with their own Annihilation, but Slay's Captive Sun. Watch out for this backline.
Top Dragon. Oh, Captive Sun from Slay. Is a Ravenous Vortex. They were trying to like a combo with that one. Just end up tagging Bellis, but Lamp thrown in from downtown. Gets destroyed. But he's chilling. Bellis is more than okay down here. He has the emergency button as well, but he doesn't end up pushing it. Cloud, though, ends up getting scored by Dia. It's all good. Dia was 1 HP on the points. Surprised Bellis didn't go for the Annihilation to survive in that corner and then push out, but thought better of it.
Yeah, I mean, VARREL won that by the skin of their teeth, and ROC were good at playing hide and seek against Slay, but this really has been a macro chess match of trying to leave the fight when ults are popped and re-engaging with your own. Speaking of that, VARREL gonna have the bolo shot from Nico. See if they can land this. Chamomile's gonna find a window, would like to get around this corner so he can get better vision.
Yeah, nice window placement though as well. Wall not so great there from Top Dragon. There's still a nice little angle for the team to shoot through. Captive Sun now into the corner. Oh, and that's a big one! That lamp just needs to be destroyed. And Lengsa! The Captive Sun! My goodness! VARREL did not stand a chance.
Generational Chinese talent, known for his Lucio, but here he's a killer. A big Captive Sun when everyone was herded into a corner. Also the Annihilation getting everyone low enough so you can get to those breakpoints. Big push out of ROC Esports. Now they're setting up towards Pool in that power position, going in their favor, and Taejong trying to get the picks, but at the last second, connects on the Nico.
Nico too high in the sky there. Wings clipped as Taejong snipes him out. Aggressive push. Oh, Taejong, wrong side of the wall, buddy. Yep, Lamb not quick enough there, unfortunately, from Chamomile. I've got another wall in this. Payload is it's schmoving right now as Dia finds a nice flank kill onto Slay. It's all falling apart right now for VARREL. Dia in the 1v1 versus Nico. Lengths is there with the clutch kill, keeping Dia alive and the payload moving. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remains.
Dia has not missed a beat. An important 1v1 for him to win while the rest of the 4v4 was happening at Pool, and ROC Esports have won battles on both fronts, and now they have to try and get into the back of the base of VARREL.
That is an insane position for Taejong to be in. Yeah, it slides away. Oh, does end up actually connecting with the Sojourn, but there's no one there to do the damage. He's just been slowed down. Oh, eventually they find him. Okay. That's Sunstruck. Yeah, that Sunstruck lasts quite a while from the Alari, but they've still got high ground here.
Yeah, ROC can just buy some time here and just poke and prod until Taejong gets back and play off the window. They want to get behind VARREL, and KSG's trying to deny.
Annihilation from both Rams too. They can stare longingly at each other in this small choke point. Looks like VARREL want to make the first move. ROC's out of there though. And you don't end up saving Lengsa, however. A perfectly placed Blizzard by Top Dragon nets them 2 kills.
Yeah, the immortality was only going to last so long. An important freeze to get onto Bellos 3. It's sometimes tough to get Blizzard value, but when you have no speed options like a Lucio or a Juno, Bellos 3 got caught. And now VARREL get to defend. It was important for them to regain control of this because this time bank was going to starting to look outrageous for ROC, but only 1 minute left in a window. Captive Sun, Annihilation. VARREL, though, they have the edge, the advantage of space, but they are pretty extended.
Trying to force Top Dragon to use this block, but Top Dragon's got too much support. Even a wall behind Bellisria right now. And a lamp as well to aid his efforts in taking this high ground. There's the block forced onto Top Dragon. And the annihilation as well. This should clear out high ground. Bellisria is kind of alone though, and in fact, no one was actually there to follow up. A captive Sun though from Lengsa up onto the high ground, clears Cloud out as overtime approaches.
Yeah, you have to leave. Cloud is dead. You have to respawn advantage. VARREL needs to play off of that. They're getting chased by Bellisria. He's so
low.
Yeah, he can't keep going.
He's got the lamp. But he's still, Top Dragon, they're just going to dominate him here. This is an overextension of the century there from Bellisria. Maybe expecting more help. It's 7 seconds to go. And look at the VARREL's ults. They can hold this choke. There's just no shot. Anybody touches now. Lengsa goes down and, Bellisria. Bit of a little bit more he could chew in that small room against a Mei Ram.
He got healing at the last second, but got messed up by the Mei wall, and that got a lot of value against Bellisria. Froze him on the last Blizzard, walled him off in that engagement. Still getting almost to the end of point C. Can be good enough for the Bellisria squad, but man, this Alari matchup has been fun. Lengsa showing Slay how it's done.
That was everybody Alari's dream there, having everybody in that small corner. That lamp getting destroyed by that first detonation, and then it's just a cascade of explosions after that. Very awkward spot, mind you, that payload has stopped him. It'll be quite tough to defend. You can kind of hug that small corner. There's a, you can kind of break LOS from everybody that's shooting down choke, but you still just have to put your round there and hope and pray. We'll see if VARREL can make it all the way there. Looks like ROC are happy with the comp that they're running. They're not making any changes.
Yeah, the double hit scan was ruining KSG for the longest time, and where is he? Where is SSG? Oh my god, he's on the B stream. He can't even fight back. That's messed up.
We'll show him that afterwards, don't worry.
Well, VARREL gonna maybe operate around the Mei once again, and this is a nice tight lane where you can try to get those isolations, but the issue has been just the cracked out DPS. The amount of damage that comes out of ROC. You have more utility with the Mei, but overall, Taejong and Dia gave the edge to Bellisria.
Slowly but surely now, VARREL make their approach.
Trying to get on top of this bridge as Bellisria keeps around the corner, plays around the pylons, but wait a minute, a pick on the Taejong?
Yeah, I mean, these picks can come through so quickly as well from the Mei. Taejong's aim, or Top Dragon's aim, sorry, on the right click is nasty. And now you're in such a good spot as well. The poke damage here in that small corner is the only thing Bellisria has to kind of rely on now to reset cooldowns.
One more fight for the point cap, and that went by so fast that you're not able to generate any ults just off of that one kill, of course. So ROC gonna have to poke and prod away and be careful of Top Dragon.
Yeah, one more pick will do it. Cloud kind of inching ahead of Chamomile as well in terms of ult charge. This window swing is going to be rather deadly. Bellisria, popping Nemesis form as that wall comes up, puts his arms up and takes negative damage. So he's going to be good for the time being, just waiting for this initial pick. It's a personal pylon there for Diaz, getting all the healing in the world and then some. What is it? What is Taejong? Wait, Taejong just slid into the mega health pack, and that's an easy kill for Top Dragon. He's gone down again.
You use window here, and then you win the point if you're VARREL.
I mean, you're done. Cloud ends up getting tagged, though, by the bonus shot from Bellisria. I mean, look at this as well. A Blizzard on the point. Dia kills Cloud, sure, but can they actually finish this fight? The point's already capped, sadly, so a quick hint. Taejong's positioning there, getting caught out again by VARREL.
Well, good picks from ROC, but losing your tank and then getting blizzarded by Top Dragon did not help. But the silver lining for ROC is he got a lot more ultimates than you expected out of VARREL. So now they have to build momentum. Slay's going to have to do a Lengsa impression, try to herd ROC Esports into the left corner, get a lot of value out of this adaptive Sun. Or captive Sun.
It is rather captivating.
Yeah, it is.
Go on, Slay. Get us a clip. He's looking for it too, looking for people to group up. Window's going to get deployed though. KSG's in an odd spot. can still kind of LOS the window, so chilling for the time being, but good disengage by VARREL.
Oh.
KSG though, okay, thinking he was under a lot more pressure than he actually was, pops the annihilation for about half a second. Captive's under the back line. Oh, history repeats itself, but this time, Slay is right in the book. A double kill for the Alari. Chamomile shuts him down, but that's point 2.
And KSG zoned off Chamomile, so he couldn't even heal and have any chance, even with the respawn advantage. This is a swift cap. You have 5 minutes for VARREL. The box of victory at the second corner. And you have a Blizzard coming up. If VARREL can try to draw the fight onto the low ground, that would get a lot of value. There's no speed, of course, from ROC. Chamomile has to keep this immortality. If that Blizzard comes out, VARREL can win off of that.
We don't want to overstay their welcome at all. Especially not against this overclock. Uh-oh, sticky spot to be in there if you're Slay. Should have the outburst though, yeah. Hop, skip and a jump upward to the high ground. Oh, Cloud overstaying his welcome, forced to deploy the Lamb. KSG's there for the backup as now Taejong tries to wide swing and snipe Slay. That Vortex doing a lot of mean work on the sides, but it's actually Nico that falls first to Bellisria's punching.
Yeah, VARREL were not sure on the extensions of ROC, and they're still trying to draw everyone from ROC into the range of this Blizzard, but here's a window.
Slay's got to run. Slay's dead, yeah. Very aggressive push there by Bellisria. They got this high ground control, which is rather nice. That window is going to force the positioning of Bellisria all the way back. And the slam could be hard to deploy, hard to shoot it out as well, as Dia takes to the skies and had to deal with that lamp, and also Nico. And it wasn't to be a good fight win here from VARREL, and they're going to push this cart around the corner, and the final stretch now approaches.
These deaths came in so late for ROC. They needed to regroup, and they're all staggered, and they got to touch quickly, and I don't know if all 5 will be alive.
Captive Sun available from Lengtson now, but Cloud is trying to take the high ground, push his team forward. Couple of meters remain as ROC do go for the contest. But this high ground control cannot be understated as Lengtser pops the pylon up, but everybody is above him right now. Oh, it's surprise Nico from around the corner. No more Captive Sun for ROC. Cloud on the height kills Chamomile, and Nico does the rest of the work. VARREL, home stretch. Only Bellisria to deal with, and peekaboo. Onto the backline, Lengtser no chance to use the ult, and VARREL will tie up the series.
Well, because ROC goofed the fight before, they had to play the fight on the payload, which allowed VARREL to get on the high ground, get behind, access the supports, kill the Alari, and then the rest was history. Better understanding, a very good map choice out of VARREL to force the brawl.
Beautiful stuff there from VARREL, forcing mistakes and taking extremely good positioning on that high ground. We knew this was going to be a close game, and this is exactly how I wanted it to go. One apiece right now as we jump into a quick break. Map number 3 up next. And a big talking point coming into the mid-season championships was how the gap between regions is closing. And I feel that way. I really do. Virtus.pro in that last series, a 3-0. VARREL going to another map here, map number 3 against ROC. Everybody bringing their A game right now. A really good showing on Circuit Royale. We're going to load into Esperanza as our next map, chosen by ROC.
Yeah, ROC really liked the dive maps when they went, not that this is that, but just to kind of summarize this series, they won Lijiang Tower 2-1, which is the Winston from Belarus being the big difference maker. VARREL not coming up with an answer, but they did so with their map choice going to Circuit. I'd be a little worried though if I'm ROC, because Circuit was their most played map, most successful one, and they just got beaten in the mirror in their own game, at their own game. So ROC Esports will pick the Esperanza, wondering now if we could have the Belarus Hammond or Winston become a threat. And even if you ban one of those heroes, if you're VARREL, the other one is still an option. I believe Winston was already taken out before, but...
Oh, VARREL are going to ban the Winston.
Okay, there it is.
But the funny thing is, ROC are going to ban the Alari. They had enough of that.
Yeah, this was so annoying. So then you could easily Lucio Kiri, or if the no Winston, but so you're not going to pop the Ana for the Hammond. You want something stable in the back. Going to be also a matchup of Tracers most likely, but wondering if we're going to see Nico opt for the Freya or the Sojourn. All depends on what tank is chosen by Belarus, which he could also stay with the Brawl.
Well, we know Top Dragon's going to be playing Tracer here, or at least a very high likelihood. Wouldn't mind seeing the Belarus Wrecking Ball. What he made his name on.
I like the Winston ban especially. That's what really hurts you on Lijiang Tower. And I think ROC should definitely depend on that Hammond. I mean, we literally just cast a Esperanza with that the Hammond being a big difference maker. It's not about killing, it's about forcing cooldowns, making backlines uncomfortable, and causing a lot of chaos. It's so hard to kill a Hammond especially, but Tracers are going to be available, Divas are available, there's answers to the Hammond, but it's not as simple as just choosing the hero.
Hazards as well. Very good pick right now. But Orissa's too, so KSG too much of a shock here from VARREL. Top Dragon just going to TP everybody out, and Slay opting for the Kiri. So Kiriko and the bat for VARREL in the back line. ROC again defaulting to a faster comp with Lengsa on Lucio.
Yeah, just trying to be preemptive with the Orisa, with the Javelin. If you were expecting a Hammond, you could easily Javelin that Hammond and be more protective. But Belarus is going to surprise him with sort of a hybrid dive and trying to take control of that bridge. They're trying to assess where Nico is, and Belarus is going to hunt him down.
This backline's going to be tough to kill if you're ROC. You got Suzu, the Kiriko can like blink away, you got Lamb to kind of deal with as well. And the upfront damage too from the BAP. Both healers dishing out so much in the front line and not having to pay attention to KSG so much either, just because the sustain moves here from Top Dragon, trying to force ROC to pay attention to him currently.
VARREL want to keep their distance with the double flex support. They want to poke down ROC Esports before they engage into them with the Lucio, so ROC Esports have to be careful with the approach.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Slay has been slain by Chamomile. That's exactly what you want to do if you're ROC. Just pick a target, jump, pick a target, jump. That's exactly what they're doing now as Nico second to fall.
Yeah, this central tower, he can play ring around the Rosie. ROC Esports found their way behind VARREL, got the Slay pick, and it just keeps on raining and downpouring for ROC Esports, and now they'll get an early lead.
Oh yeah, only 3 meters on the ball for VARREL there, sadly. But yeah, Slay caught out. I'm curious if the Swift Step wasn't available, just got like bursted in an instant, just kind of on this platform here.
Kitsune rush advantage to Chamomile because Slay was picked so early. Obviously, you can't build ult charge when you're dead. So this could be how ROC Esports propels themselves into some momentum, but Slay's on the flank here.
Yeah, the Lucio messing around. All right, KSG is going to be the anchor on the point required. Taejong pretty low too, actually forced a recall by Top Dragon. But this positioning right now for ROC is just so beautiful. They're using this rush on the side of VARREL, so VARREL have to fight into this to keep control of the pot, and KSG was forced onto the bridge and split from the team.
I like the play from Slay to get behind, maybe have a pick, but ROC Esports popped the Kitsune rush. They have more heals, they have more damage, and they just outrun VARREL. So this will be a first point cap, and this is going to turn into a hemorrhage unless VARREL have a fight win off their own Kitsune rush, or Top Dragon maybe even makes this cheaper with a pulse bomb kill. But it's tough. You have Barrier, you have Suzu, a lot of answers from the side of ROC.
And as soon as they pop that rush, you just save amp if you're Lengsa. You know it's coming. Slay's even kind of lining up for it as well. They can tag the Kiriko's position, and they're just gonna bow out for now as Bellisria goes pretty low.
You can just play off bridge.
Yeah, it should be fine. I think Bellisria just walled himself off too. Bolus available. Oh, and he attacks the Tracer. Uh-oh, Taejong. Sweet dreams. Lengsa does lay down the sound barrier. Terror Surge does grab in too, but Dia slides straight towards Nico. Snipes him out, but in a tough spot. Top Dragon just cleaning up the rest as ROC have found themselves in an odd spot. They're going to be able to get out. They've got the Lucio, but KSC is going to try and cut a couple of players off.
Yeah, huge pick on the Taejong, and the Lengsa reaction to try and turn around a 4v5 just wasn't enough. Even Bellisria using the ult. Dia used a slide, but was not expecting the Tracer to be that close. So we'll see if VARREL can make the comeback.
Well, Bellisria went very low, forcing a teleport and a Suzu from Chamomile. Pulse bomb for Top Dragon. He is at the head of the ship right now. The captain trying to push this bot through the choke point. Suzu onto Bellisria as the rush has been laying down in the mid. An easy kill for Chamomile now. Just an overwhelming amount of ultimates coming through from ROC. There's just no response there from VARREL at all.
All of VARREL's attention is on Bellisria, and Chamomile is choosing critical moments to pot the Kitsune rush to get Bellisria out of dodge and to save him from the grave. And this was VARREL needing to win that fight to actually get some progress going. And ROC Esports now get the checkpoint and will be moving to extend this lead, potentially the triple digits, especially after denying the Kitsune rush win from VARREL.
Man, they are in. Taejong pancakes that pulse bomb. That's an unbelievably defensive window here, but hey, it's working out for VARREL. Bellisria down, Taejong, oh, Top Dragon. God, he's got his digits or something. Surely Slay doesn't die. Nope. All good, Top Dragon to the rescue.
Very clutch for Top Dragon, and there's progress immediately after that fight.
Yeah, that was an insane wrap there from KSG. Really good mind there. As Top Dragon was cleaning up, KSG just stole the bot.
We got to watch for that Mega Pack room from ROC. KSG is going to get support from people on the bridge, but looking for those first picks. Slay has been good with it, building up towards a Kitsune rush. ROC Esports are going to show face to try and deny the checkpoint, and they've stolen the bot. VARREL want the better position of bridge.
Yeah, KSG can smell him coming, sitting that close to the mono. Bellisria trying to take this high ground. Should be able to get it. Oh, a blind ult and a whiff there from Bellisria. Over eager to say the very least. KSG now in a little bit of trouble, but walls himself off. A double wall, in fact, to make sure there's nowhere to run or hide. Teleport and a Suzu there coming in from Slay. And he does end up teleporting away, and even a rush on the steps here to match the sound barrier from Lengsa. But a bit disconjointed here from ROC. This fight's a little bit messy. And VARREL, they've got a mop and bucket.
And they're close to the checkpoint. That'll be good for them. Taejong was low, so Bellisria had to go deeper than expected to finish off the kill on KSG, which summoned Chamomile to dash in and then got himself killed. ROC Esports didn't have no heals, and VARREL turned the whole fight around from there.
That's a big capture point as well. Getting that out of the way is going to be good. There is going to be a touch, though, from ROC. They're right round the corner, and Slay knows it.
All right, Chamomile, Kitsune rush. Got to be careful of the poke from VARREL that could come from the top of the bridge. But dealing with KSG, just playing the corner. ROC need to play this safe.
Chamomile with a Kitsune rush as well. Ideally, you win a neutral fight here. Oh, forcing the recall of Top Dragon. That is a good start, but Bellisria is in trouble. Amplified attack speed now will help heal up the tank in the front line. Oh, that was a stick and a half on Taejong there. Beautiful stuff on Nico. Didn't see him coming. And now has to kind of deal with KSG, but he's good. KSG's on the wrong side of the map. Wrong neighborhood, unfortunately. Suzu, even better land there from Cloud. Wow, perfectly placed.
Well, KSG was just trying to die on the bot, and somehow he gets saved, but sacrifices Slay in the process.
Man, Slay got carved up there by Bellisria. Jumped to that high ground. Lead not quite taken there by VARREL. They've got 1 meter in him. I mean, look, there's 2 and a bit minutes to go. They can come back. They got a lot of ults for this next fight as well, while ROC's ult bank are looking barren.
Big win, and VARREL never flipped the lead in their favor. 2.5 minutes. VARREL, he is very punishable, but VARREL are still trying to find the cohesion to do so. While NiKo will have the ult, but VARREL is going to get ahead of this fight.
Love that. Oh, VARREL, wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately. That window, though, not quite enough to actually kill him. There you go. They needed this to be a cheap fight, and unfortunately, the price they paid was 3 ultimates. Chamomile and VARREL are dead. A slight stagger on Dia, but they still got a pulse. They got a Kitsune rush. They're in a very good spot to take the lead.
Have to win another fight to see some progress. Kitsune rush has to be getting value. ROC, are they going to want to give up that corner? What can they accomplish at the window? KSG is already trying to deny that first position. Langsha can't get the boop. Langsha can maybe save this with a sound barrier, but VARREL has to anchor this around the corner to deny progress.
They might just want to go fast. Downpour available from VARREL could be a bit of an annoyance to kind of deal with. It does use the downpour, kind of blind again, and it whiffs. Dia's already dead. Rush on the point. Lamb to just fortify the front line dive, and Top Dragon's even got a pulse. Sticks it to the wall. Damages, it's okay. Taejong gets him one better though, as he actually sticks NiKo once more. It's a rather even fight considering VARREL used 2 ults. A sound barrier comes in from Langsha and hits 2 as Cloud ends up biting the dust. How have VARREL lost that? ROC managed to hold on.
Just not being able to punish VARREL, and you gotta thank Chamomile. Just TPing in, hitting the Suzu, and he got to conserve the Kitsune rush. So ROC Esports still in the lead, shaving down a lot of this time. 60 seconds for them to try and go to match point, and it's all up to Chamomile to assure this victory for ROC.
Yeah, match point in their sights now. 1 step closer to crushing the key of VARREL. It's this rush. They're just going to swing on this rush. Easy as you like. That wall ends up coming up. Actually, that blocked the rush. Wait, Chamomile got like 1 inch of rush there, thanks to KSG's wall. Oh, wait, what?
What?
Where did Taejong go? Blinked off the map or something, not entirely sure, but he's definitely regretting his movement now. 20 seconds to go, overtime approaching, VARREL on their final push.
And it has to be a flawless one, and they'll have a window, but not the easiest lanes to pop this unless they get towards that second checkpoint. ROC Esports could also contest. They have a Tracer. VARREL needs to play safe, but they're actually behind VARREL.
Lamp's been already deployed by Cloud, and even the emergency window as well to sustain through this. He ends up boosting away, but that window is gone by the wayside. ROC completely disengaged. STC overtime now as Taejong and Top Dragon duel on the point. Pulse bomb in the hands of the Tracer.
Okay, there's the ult and the pulse bomb. Taejong has a lot of good targets.
Nice Suzu there, comes in massive for Chamomile. NiKo goes down yet again to Taejong's pulse bomb, and Cloud is going to follow him to the grave. Langsha with 2. Overtime ticking for VARREL, and that's just going to be it. KSG and Top Dragon, they come out with kills. But ROC, they found match point.
That was so close. VARREL were on the flank, but whoever called that was insane from ROC. They had a good reaction. They had time to counter. And ROC, even with what happened, still just very stressed out on the biggest of stages. Just momentarily keep themselves ahead in the series. What a challenge coming out of VARREL.
Taejong 3 fights in a row, or 3 pulse bombs in a row. Assassinating NiKo. It's been a rough game, honestly, for the Sojourn on the side of the VARREL. I mean, look, ROC on match point. VARREL and Japan's hopes and dreams as well lie with them. They need to now take 2 maps in a row to then continue their journey in this group. But ROC, they're ready to swoop down and snatch it away from them. We're going to jump down to the studio. They can break down the first 3 maps.
It's great to see the excitement there on ROC's faces. A stumble in game 2, but they right the ship in game 3. Welcome in, everybody. We've got Avril and Johnny joining me in the studio. The STC Arena giving us some pretty good games, but it's our first halftime where it's not a 3-0, Johnny.
Yeah, it's been a really close series so far. Obviously, Circuit Riyadh, we saw VARREL coming out on top, playing that double flex support lineup, and they looked real crisp, but I did feel like in map 3, we did see ROC's recipe for success come out. They're playing the dive composition with the Lucio, stepping up the pace. So ROC Esports looking really good so far.
ROC Esports, they are in the commanding position, one map away from advancing to the next round. If you're VARREL, it's time to bounce back. But let's take a look at some of the highlights here, Avril. Who's impressing early on in this matchup? We're 3 games in.
So Tracer plays, Taejong, obviously we looked at the last map. Absolute brilliant performance so far. I mean, Dia did come through in the Sojourn early on map 1 as well. But in this series so far, a lot of this is coming down kind of to this sort of Ram gameplay, but also the Hands gameplay, the dive. I think ROC definitely prefer looking at the Hands as sort of mirror. When you look at the Ram gameplay here, it's a lot more even. So I think for ROC, maybe looking more towards a bit more of a Ramattra matchup in future maps will serve them well. Because, you know, despite the traces, I'm also looking at the tanks too.
Yeah, but you also saw Riyadh step it up big time on the Winston. You're down around on Lijiang Tower, and Riyadh swaps over to the Winston, which is a crucial hero for them here. So again, upping the pace. And we saw the Winston ban. It came out on map 3, but still, ROC Esports, they're able to navigate around that.
Going into that second map, it was all about Langsa for me as we take a look here at the final round. Walk me through the difference maker. The Winston, was it? Just better comp?
It was the Winston indeed. I mean, you're just seeing the pace, and Slay sitting on the Ilari that time, playing alongside the Kiriko. And I said earlier, the double flex support lineups, that is what VARREL does really well. That is the edge. But when you're playing Winston, so efficient at shutting that down. Langsa here, obviously, huge captive son. I think those support
And this is a support character for anyone who's not used to Overwatch.
And he's not even really much of a flexible player. Langsa mostly known for main sports, mostly known for the Lucio, the Brig, stepping it up to be able to slightly off-roll a bit more on the flexible, coming through on an Alari, a hero that he's really not had that much professional game time on that we can see in actual matches. So to be able to come through and be able to really hit the performance, I mean, that's big for the side of ROC.
Push was very close at the end. Let's take a look at the highlights from Game 3 before we check in with Bravo. What is the difference maker for ROC Esports in our third map?
Well, it is, again, the dive coming out, because I think Langsa, the fact that ROC Esports banned the Lucio themselves on Circuit Real, I actually think that was a big mistake from them. And you saw here on this map instead, the credit to VARREL still, it was a really close map. It could have gone either way, especially with Taejong, like blinked off the map, recalled off the map or something like that towards the end. It really came down to the wire. Dia stepping up big time on the Sojourn here. But again, I think this is what ROC Esports does best here.
We got the match loading up here in about 3 minutes, so as we hop out of these highlights, would love to catch you up with what is going on the Bravo stream, because reminder, it's day 2 and your last day to have 2 streams of Overwatch 2 active at the same time. Some big matchups from Group C, and how are my cats doing? The handsome cats, Avril, they still have a chance?
Not as Scorpos, it's a struggle out here. Again, they come in with not as much practice, not as much experience as some of the other teams. Twisted Minds, they're coming in today with revenge on the mind. They are in a position where they want to go up against Sign again to be able to qualify through from their group. So they want to just get past Garda Squad Post without too much issues here. Even repeating some of the maps that they played versus Sign yesterday, like this Atlas, but rewriting history and saying, no, we'll win the Atlas this time. We don't even need the Sim. Sim ban, UB trace it, we can still win.
Any surprises here to see a 3-0 as the final score, Johnny?
I don't think it's any surprise at all. I think Twisted Minds, they got their sights on the playoffs. They want revenge against Sign Esports. Exiting in groups would be a big disappointment for Twisted Minds.
That Sign versus Twisted Mind rematch will decide who moves into the playoff bracket, and we'll close out the day over on our Bravo stream. Here, though, on the Alpha stream, we got to keep you updated. And a reminder that Group D, this was a 2-1 with Sign taking game 1 and 3 in that first time around.
And I think this time around, Twisted Minds, they will be a little bit more fired up. They know that they probably were the favorites. Yes, they got up against Sign, and I'm going to be honest, I think, well, maybe both of us, we did underestimate Sign a little bit. Looking at how they performed yesterday, they might have the edge. I did say early on the desk public, I think all 3 NA teams will be qualifying through, so team are going to have to really step up, because I think Sign, I'm swapping sides a little bit here. They convinced me that they might be good enough to win.
Sign and Liquid, they just got your number today. You love them, huh?
Well, Liquid went to 5 against Crazy Raccoon. I mean, that's deserving in and of itself to go to the top 8.
High praise. We also expect 3 of our top Korean squads to be making it through, and OWCS has already powered through as well. Johnny, let's take a look, though, at the remainder of this match, because VARREL and ROC are still very much alive. One of them's going out, top 16. The other powers into our top 12.
Yeah, we got 2 map modes, of course, left here. We got Hybrid with Blizzard World, Eichenwalde, and Midtown. And I think this is the game type where you want to pick a map, because either you can go to a very open map like Blizzard World. You could play Belasri on the Wrecking Ball, for example. Very difficult matchup. Therefore, I think they should go to Midtown. It is closed doors, It suits their gameplay a lot better. You can maybe force some of that double flex support compositions. Over on the flashpoints, they're both very brawl intensive. So again, I think the best deciding map to go to here on 4 would be to a hybrid map.
Final chance to switch up your predictions. You guys both riding with ROC?
I'm staying with ROC for now, but I think VARREL could push us to 5.
I'm sticking with ROC.
Our time at the studio is done. Let's head back to the STC Arena for game number 4.
Thank you very much, Puckett. All right, Johnny AVREL, sticking with ROC. They look good, to be fair with you, on that last map, Esperanza. A couple of small mistakes from VARREL, it's got to be said. That fight where they had 2 ults, that rush available to them. They tried to swing the corner after the checkpoint of ROC, and they just couldn't quite get it done. And, well, now is do or die. Match point for ROC. Their key may be safe.
And VARREL, because of that mistake, they were 2 or 3 meters behind from taking the lead. And because they didn't, ROC brought the bot back to the neutral point. He got to keep extending things. And even though ROC didn't build up towards the, I don't even think they hit the triple digits, they just kept resetting the momentum from VARREL. A couple of swaps from the VARREL side to try and mirror ROC, but this was the ROC choice of map. Now the ball is in the court of VARREL. Let's see where we're going to next.
Well, I can tell you where we're going. We're going to Atlas. Bans are coming in just a moment as well. So, again, another fast map, and this is going to very much help ROC out here, Lemon.
Yeah, and depending on what sort of brawl and are the tanks going to be affected, Orisa and Ram have been the important brawl choices, although Corey's seen a little bit of hazard from KSG and Belarus.
See the tape measure there coming out? Measuring the mouse map, making sure exactly, was that 9, what was that, 9 inches or something away from the, yeah, okay, I like that, I like that a lot. Puckett will get this reference, but Fear itself with 2 fingers on his nose and then close to the TV, get the exact distance away that he wanted to sit. He got the lean.
Got the Slay fans too in the audience. It's been cool to see fans from all over the world come here to Riyadh, support their teams. It's not just the Saudi teams that are having a loud crowd. They got fans here as well, so VARREL are gonna need all the support they can get to try and force a game 5.
Yeah, AVREL thinks it's possible, and Atlas is the pick. And hey, it's just Lucio City here for ROC. Did play a little bit of that Alari on Circuit Royale, but there are the bans. Okay, Sojourn ban for VARREL, and then ROC are banning away that Ram.
So Narissa Mirror, maybe Freya. Of course, the Tracers are always gonna wreak havoc on a flashpoint. Now the Lucios are in the picture, and that's kind of what stalled things out on Circuit when that got banned out. And that was brought out on Esperanza, but then ultimately ending on double flex support. It's been more of a chess match positionally as we listen to VARREL fans rally them.
They're ready for rock and roll. A lot of gyos. Look, Dia especially has been around for such a long time as well. Not exactly unfamiliar with an international stage and a big stage at that. A lot of players we've seen come through, it's their first time on a big LAN environment. It'd be quite daunting to a lot of players.
I'm sure the ROC fans are there as well, because man, how can you not love the players on the ROC? Storied names from Dia to Belarus to everyone included. They have put up such a fight, quite a challenge to go up against Japan's #1. Even with the imports of Top Dragon and Slay, they have elevated VARREL to be the best Japanese team in history. But China's hoping to upset Japan here and crush their key and their hopes of getting to playoffs.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy road either, of course, within Group B. You still need to win yet another match after this. And VARREL, of course, they're dominant in their home region. They won that finals versus Reject 4-0 against the likes of Edison, Kalios. And I do wonder how VARREL are going to pivot from here. Top Dragons, of course, is going to be sticking on the Tracer. But this map is no way has it been decided what kind of the best comps, but it is a flashpoint, so Rush is kind of the name of the game. Getting a sub in for VARREL as well, of course. Yuki is in, Nico is out. Nico had a rough game last map. Being stuck over and over and over again by Taejong. No Sojourn available in this series either, or in this map, sorry. And a map number 5 is where VARREL need to go against ROC Esports.
Yeah, you have not seen Kyuki at all here at EWC against Crazy Raccoon the last couple of matches in Japan playoffs, but no one's really pushed VARREL to this point. They haven't dropped a single match in their own region. They didn't even bring out their secret weapon against Crazy Raccoon, so I wonder what VARREL have cooked up. Our bans are VARREL banning Sojourn and Ramatra out from ROC.
I do worry though, because Lynx is just going to play the Lucio. ROC are just going to play Lucio. Is Slay going to force the Illari? There's a couple of good points for the Illari, sure, but we saw ROC obviously just dismantle it. It's tough to stay alive. It really is. Especially against someone like Taejong as well. Like, Tracer is just going to be hounding you down. And it puts a lot more weight on Top Dragon's shoulders. You have to do them one better because they're just running at you in this dive comp. They're running 5 players at the back line, at Cloud, at Slay. As we load into Atlas, this is VARREL's chance here to take us to a map number 5. ROC, with one more map win, will guarantee themselves another life in Group B, crush VARREL's key, and potentially make it all the way to playoffs.
Just based on how Circuit went, both teams were really good at disengaging when ults were being invested. Belistria sometimes goes deeper than expected when Taejong has to step up on the Tracer to finish off these kills, but let's begin now on Atlas.
Oh, okay, Moira Lucio. We've seen a little bit of Moira throughout the groups. Been some fans, been not as many as I thought though. I thought Jane might like a little bit of Moira, but then I woke up from my dream.
Usually you only see that if the Kiri gets banned and Kyuki punished.
Yeah, a late burrow there. That's a couple of easy kills. Top Dragon with the crosshair of the century, just a giant cube. Unfortunately, a quick teleport away from Top Dragon. He's going to change Tracer surely here. Yes, yeah, no way to stay on the Reaper. Dia on Cassidy, now that is a rather historic image.
Now Orisa for KSG. It's the ultimate mirror. Besides, of course, the Venture and the BAP being chosen, trying to have as much poke as possible. You sacrifice the speed, and VARREL have to attack into this, and there's a lot of nooks and crannies to hide, and Dia has to stay away from this charging Orisa.
Yeah, pretty easy to rotate, though, on this map. Like you said, no speed, so Dia can just kind of walk with the Lucio. Burrow for the Venture. Yeah, Kyuki's out of there. There's no shot you kind of stay around. Although KSG's doing a fair amount of damage and isolated Belistria. The entirety of ROC very scared of the Venture. They get a free flip pretty much.
Yeah, that'll be Top Dragon and Taejong fighting for the point while the fight could take place elsewhere. And it's okay to give up that point cap as long as you win the war. And Belistria is going to swap now to the Winston. We're kind of playing mystery heroes. Would VARREL want to go back to the Reaper, as maybe that was brought out initially just to take care of Belistria if he brought out any dive. But for now, VARREL is still fighting to get the lead.
Yeah, good kill there by Slay onto Dia. Okay, good start, and they're going to be able to take the lead on this flashpoint. Don't want to be reset here. Yeah, Bellistria's got to get out. He's got Bubble and Leap in a couple, so should be good. Taejong with the Pulse Bomb too has been a big factor, especially in that Esperanza map. The stick connections were just honestly out of this world. You had to have been close to 100% stick rate.
Slay on the off angle. He'll be forced to TP out. Kitsune Rush available first for Jinmu.
Top Dragon's looking. Oh, Pulse Bomb hits the wall though. Terror Surge met with a sound barrier there as Linkster tries to get his team away, but Dia isolated by KSG. But Belistria with the Winston, the dives are just too clean. It's 99 for VARREL.
Gotta win that when you pop 2 support ultimates, and it's a great job, VARREL. Popped the window and just couldn't get good vision, not enough damage, and not a good enough response. You go for the extra damage, not as much sustain, and couldn't deliver on those kills, so Slay has to pull through to try and save this point for VARREL with the Kitsune Rush.
Oh, nice little force of the recall there. Dia paying attention to Venture rather quickly. It's a good con to actually take the point with VARREL. If they want to go for the contest, they're going to have to burn cooldowns to do so. A rush that ROC are just going to disengage from completely, and Cloud is just, in the middle of nowhere there. No way near his team. This first point, rather finicky for support. You really do just have to be like glue for the rest of your team. And that's going to be ROC. Despite VARREL flipping, claiming the first point on Flashpoint.
Taejong and Dia are clicking, and you wanted to see that happen. Now they take their first point. VARREL will play from behind, and they're gonna keep swapping comps to try and find the solution. Now the hazard. This is very reminiscent of how Lijiang Tower went, but KSG got isolated away from the bubbles, didn't have enough heals, but Slay will be able to TP in, and with the Suzu save his life, but blowing up Bellisria is gonna be important, but he's got the Primal coming up, so should have the extra health to survive.
He is vibing here as well. On the points, yeah, flashback. Oh, even a high noon, everything popped there by Dia. Taejong and Top Dragon ends up coming up with kills. There is an ult from Kyuki, and that's a lot of damage to in the front line. Can they actually kill the oh, okay, well, a free kill there from the Venture. Jinmu just appears in front of Kyuki. That's a double kill, and that's going to be point capture as well from VARREL.
Dia and Taejong popping heads in the last fight, being the difference maker to Kyuki and Top Dragon. The dives from the flanker specialists come alive. That was a huge bulldoze by Kyuki. They look towards the pulse bomb, but namely the Kitsune rush from Jinmu as they hope to push in, but there's a lot of different entry points, but this one has some choke points to get through. Kyuki is already looking to isolate one, namely one of these supports.
It's worth keeping in mind as well, Jinmu being on the stage, of course, normally a DPS player, a very, well, honestly, exceptional Pharah too. That's going to be a very early rush from Jinmu there as ROC Esports kind of in dire straits. Top Dragon is just kind of rinsing them right now. 60% in building for VARREL as KSG assassinates Jinmu. Bellisria gets out of the fight, but not good enough for a win at all. And in fact, it might be a small stagger here too. Bellisria is 1 HP, almost side to the wall.
Jinmu and Dia playing in Overwatch. Man, the fans are eating good, and with the DPS going to flex support, of course, your mechanics are going to transfer over, but really, it's VARREL about to transfer this point. They're almost going to 0 to 100 this, and here's the barrier to counter.
Extremely early sound barrier there, downpour from KSG. Not sure it'll caught anybody as the SDC overtime comes in. KSG's alone right now on the point, fending it off from Bellisria, who is equally as low, and without Primal Rage, there's no staying power here for ROC Esports. KSG and Top Dragon are just finding these isolation picks. That's 1 point on the ball from VARREL.
Yeah, the read to know when that Suzu, when that teleport is popped from Jinmu, and the hunt down. You have so much mobility from the side of VARREL that you're able to do that, and Slay can be part of that picture at any moment's notice. He doesn't have to bail out KSG as much, so Slay can be on the front lines going after these supports, and we'll have third point unlock very shortly with the big ult coming from the DPS from VARREL.
Here on the Reaper. Ooh, that was close. Kyuki almost got booped up. 12 HP on the Reaper though, and Kyuki's going to hunting. Hits that burrow though, tries to get out of there as KSG dishes out some his own medicine there as Bellisria goes down to the Violent Leap, and that is another point cap from VARREL.
It's a good day at the beach, but ROC Esports gonna bring the signature Hammond. Can't even keep up with all of this, and maybe Dia on the Venture wouldn't mind kind of matching that, the Venture to try and help this dive.
He's gonna die.
Oh, what a pulse!
Top Dragon's just too swift with it. He's too clean. Dia forced a Wraith. Top Dragon in the backline. Jinmu in trouble now. Same with Lengsa. This is looking so easy right now for VARREL. To put it very bluntly, look at that. Just absolutely dominating on the Tracer.
Dia's
and ROC,
on the Reaper.
It feels like they don't know what to do. How many tank swaps have they had now? Obviously, like you said, Bellisria now on the ball. An exceptionally good hero for him, but
maybe you stay on the Reaper just because you're about to have Kitsune Rush, but who do you collapse on? There's so many mobile people on the side of VARREL, and you can counter Kitsune Rush from Slay.
Yep, double rush on the point. Bellisria trying to find an entrance into this fight, but can't quite find anybody. He's rolling around, but the sound barrier ends up coming in from Lengsa. Finally a kill there. Taejong takes down the Venture as Bellisria now sticks himself to the back line. A dash away from Cloud, deploys the lamp, booped out of it though. Nice slam. Beautiful tech there from VARREL. However, they capped the point with VARREL getting 99.
Taejong and VARREL had to will that victory, but now they have to make the ultimate comeback from 0 to 100. Gets the ults from VARREL that can now go in with the window. ROC Esports have to make this decision carefully of if they find cover or want to try and fight through. Dia has Death Blossom. He could easily teleport in behind this window and go for the big risk, big reward.
Lamp already taken care of. Oh, that's not exactly the door you wanted to open there, but it's all good. Still takes down Dia regardless. Top Dragon and KSG still doing the heavy lifting here for VARREL. KSG is alive, but not well. That can be said for certain. VARREL just getting kind of eaten alive. A nice little roll through from VARREL. Doesn't quite get the boot off the map. And now just chased down by Top Dragon as he comes up with the goods. There's the point flip and the STC overtime. It hits again. As VARREL now need to defend this. There's not even going to be a touch here as ROC Esports aren't quite quick enough.
One step closer to try and force the game 5, and Dia's sole focus is making KSG uncomfortable. He is losing that 1v1, but Bellisria has minds. He could deny this next point capture and get the space earned and the cap for ROC Esports. VARREL do their best to try and deny. They could try and circle the point. They have the mobility to do so. They want to access Jinmu. They've been good at picking him so far.
Okay, Top Dragon calling out the TP there. As he sees Dia disappear in a puff of smoke. Oh yeah, don't want any of that. No, thank you. Quick burrow. And yeah, that Reaper has to Wraith form away now. Kyugi, only one CD remaining, but needs some help. Very low HP right now. Those shields helping out the Venture as Bellisria tries to go for the kill, but Quick Sharp is Slay on those healing off with it and managed to get back the Venture to full HP. Same can't be said for KSG, however, as now it's all falling apart as ROC end up capping.
Yeah, Jinmu was at 20 HP at the start of this fight, but never got the finishing blow. VARREL have kept their supports alive, but just barely. The immortality is what kept Cloud in. The cap's in favor of ROC, and they're going to build this lead even more.
Crowd very much behind ROC Esports right now. Rush, Sound Barrier, Mines too for ROC. Looking shaky for VARREL, but if there's one person that can change this fight's trajectory, it's going to be Top Dragon. He's got the pulse bomb, spotting out the supports. There's Jinmu. In the blink of an eye, disappears, TPing straight across the map, but Cloud once again succumbs to the overwhelming presence of ROC. Rush on the point, Sound Barrier for Lengsa. And they don't want to stay in this fight, not for too much longer. A teleport from Jinmu onto the point is a good chance to use the rush if he so chooses. VARREL did end up getting in the cap, but for how much longer can they actually hold on? Oh!
VARREL was so tunneled on these supports, he gave up a needless recap by VARREL when he had mines. They had a length to Sound Barrier. They didn't need to give up control to VARREL, and now they're close to tying the score.
They need kills. They just need to pick up these frags, man. I mean, finally KSG goes down, but yeah, they snuck away 50% of that point.
Well, I guess you'll be able to keep it. He banked all these ultimates while not using them, so surely Kitsune Rush Mines is what gets us to the final point here for ROC and a chance to seal away the series.
Self-destruct in the second life here for KSG. Oh, that was close. I think he dashed through the pulse bomb there, went over his head, I'd imagine. Uh-oh, Lengsa in trouble though, through the window goes Lengsa. Jinmu down, and oh, Dia tried to be the savior of ROC there, using that Death Blossom in that small room, but it will be VARREL with the cap. One more point here to send them to a map 5.
It's going to come down to the wire. Cloud's going to the Moira. He is so done with this Hammond collapsing on him. The Fade's going to give him that extra survivability. You miss out on a lot of utility, though, as KSG on the Diva wanted the extra mobility to chase down this Hammond, try to deal with the Reaper. You only have so much Matrix, though.
Yeah, Bellisria was attempted to be stopped there by the Venture, but to the rescue comes Lengsa. OT here for VARREL now, but they're down a player. KSG self-destruct on the point. Dia hit the Wraith form, and it will be fine for them to touch again as ROC have the Wrecking Ball at full HP pretty much. They do end up getting the flip as well, so ROC Esports now in the driver's seat.
They have Sound Barrier coming up, but ROC Esports is trying to cause chaos with this Hammond as KSG is going after this Reaper.
Dead. Uh-oh, Taejong hit the recall too. It's all over for this point for VARREL. ROC are going to tie this one 2-2 as soon as they kill KSG. And there it is. It's going all the way on Atlas now. VARREL need to be perfect to send us to a map 5.
This is their map pick. And the fans are behind ROC and VARREL, and it all comes down to this final point. If ROC can try and eliminate the key from Japan's #1.
Sound barrier available. Taejong with the stick. Not even a hit marker there, but recall straight in the face of KSG. Going for a slam once more, trying to force that Wraith form, that shift from Cloud. That's a whole lot of ult invested just to kill the Moira, but it works out in the end. Lengster kills Slay, and Kuki is just trying to find targets to hit with a tectonic shock. But right now it's all ROC. They got the points, and VARREL on the back foot.
The Reaper dive, you've seen it here first. They are playing at an incredible speed that is overwhelming VARREL, forcing them to swap to the Moira. And look, you're already trying to get some cooldowns out early. Suzu popped, good matrix from KSG. Belos Riyadh disengages.
Oh, Jinmu though ends up going down. On the retreat there, I would imagine too. ROC Esports are going to be able to keep this point alive though with the ball. Mines deployed on the point, additional stall. Yuki might be in a little bit of trouble though. The barrel's already been used and Legs is straight after him. Although he's pretty low, actually bit off way more than he could chew.
Hey, Kuki is actually clutching this for VARREL, and you got the Kitsune Rush.
Oh, Taejong!
Wait, Taejong!
A post-bomb kill onto Top Dragon. Dia's still got the Death Blossom as well. Oh, VARREL, they're not looking so hot right now, but the Coalescence should be enough for them to sustain through this fight. Someone's got to kill Dia. Eventually falls.
But 85+%, you're only just getting the cap now. Belos Riyadh is even extending this to 90+.
Are they getting the cap? Okay, she's so low. I mean, this is 99 here for ROC.
You have to play perfect from here on out, and with a Moira, it's not going to be as easy. You need lanes to try and get these healing orbs to get max value. KSG's going to have a second life with the self-destruct, and ROC Esports have to do it without ult. Now getting through the choke, Kuki's trying to isolate, maybe get the TP out of Jinmu or a Suzu, namely even get some of these DPS uncomfortable.
Oh, that was lucky there from Dia, hit the Wraith Walk. Adventure Burrow could be, rather deadly. Big slam in, Taejong, mini health pack, pulse bombing 5%, trying to force that fade. Quite does it as well. Oh, the stick from Taejong again! Taejong, the hero here for ROC Esports. A teleport in from Top Dragon, the Death Blossom across the map, but Taejong is holding on to this point, he's holding on to it firm. Jinmu ends up going down, the sound barrier from Lengser, not there to actually save the Kiriko. Belos Riyadh does end up falling though, as the Coalescence. This might be the final hurrah here for ROC on this map. A map number 5 in the sights of VARREL.
0 to 100 comeback, trying to deny the touch from Lengster.
He doesn't get it. Lengster goes down and VARREL are going to take us to a map number 5.
To do so on their map pick, the 0 to 100 comeback. As the VARREL and ROC fans clash, this goes to Game 5. China versus Japan. This series ended up being so insane, so chaotic, with the dives, with the Tracer, the Venture, KSG swapping to so many different things, ultimately on the Diva to try and add mobility, Belos Riyadh on the signature Hammond, with a Reaper of all things, which Dia, stubborn, but adding to that equation were Taejong critical picks near the end of this map to swing it.
The pulse bombs from Taejong have been so clean. Just unbelievable performances. That one there looked like it may have sealed the deal. VARREL and Japan's only hope here in the international tournament, taking ROC Esports to a map 5. A key on the line, and another game after this versus Liquid for the victor here. ROC's chance to choose the map, and their chance to ban first.
Big swap from Cloud too, that extra survivability, you lack the utility, but the extra heals made all the difference for VARREL to not go for the sprint, but live through the marathon, to go from the 0 to 100, the coalescence that brought everyone back to their feet to breathe a new life into this Japanese roster. Now this final map pick from VARREL. has to be the key to victory, or they will lose their key in the process.
Just saw as well, I think Nico is coming back in to the team. We go to a hybrid now as our last game type to be played in this series.
Wonder if Jinmu is going to stay too. It's kind of fun to see him on Kiriko. Wasn't expecting that, but he got chased down. What a entry into this series to get run down by a Venture, Tracer, KSG, D.Va. A lot of pressure on these supports and who was going to live on these. That was the primary objective from both these teams, was trading backlines and how these Kirikos were using the teleport and these Suzus, and how much trust you had in your secondary support to either speed you out or to boop the threat away.
I think a lot of mystery heroes in that round as well. A lot of heroes chosen by Bellisria. Ended up settling on the ball. Even then KSG, Hazard, ended up going to D.Va. Good against the Wrecking Ball, of course, just eating all those shots as soon as the ball goes in for the slam. I was surprised to see Top Dragon just stick on the Reaper, if I'm honest. Surprised he didn't stay Tracer. Looks like the coaches are done deliberating. Couple of substitutions coming in for the squads, so we're going to jump to a quick break, get them set up.
Reach your impossible, Lenovo Legion.
A key will be crushed after this next map. We're going to Eichenwalde. ROC versus VARREL. Japan's golden child versus a team full of legends. We saw a couple of the fan cams of Tia there with the screenshots of the old Overwatch League setups, even a signed Jinmu card too. A couple of substitutions like we mentioned before the break. Nico in for the side of VARREL. And we're seeing Jinmu step away as well from ROC. Got a Lengsa and Chamomile in the back line.
Such a fun map pick for ROC. First game 5 of the day, and I swear probably the first I can follow, or maybe at least for our cast. And this is perfect for a Belosaria Hammond that could potentially come out. Not 100% sure. I don't think Hammond's been banned this series yet, so ROC Esports or VARREL should definitely try and deny that. This is a huge Hammond map, but then Belosaria can always fall back to the Winston. Not going to have as much displacement power from the Hammond, and then you got the double flex support option. Do you want to opt for some support bans and try and deny the defense from having too much firepower at range?
Yeah, I'm curious if we're going to see Jinmu some more if ROC advance after this. Team Liquid is the opponent for the winner here. For that final spot in the playoffs in Group B. Now, do you see in the bans coming through? ROC banning Freya to start, and then VARREL are going to respond with a Kiriko ban.
That means both tanks available for Belosaria and KSG. Not going to have the Lucio Kiri and not as much of a threat of the double flex. At least you can bap Juno or even bring the Alari back into the picture, but ROC really want that rematch against Team Liquid. They did not have a good showing against them in their very first match of the day, but Team Liquid are a force to be reckoned with, and they're the favorites to come out of this group, but this is quite the warm-up match for sure, although they'll be deciding that on another day, I believe. So Eichenwalde, ROC Esports map pick, and both these teams have been trading each other's map picks, so we all decide this on Eichenwalde.
Yeah, I want to point out as well, obviously, it is drawable on Hybrid, so we could even get another map, although rather rare occurrence these days, getting a drawn map. Yeah, I'm curious how Belosaria is going to approach this. Is it going to be something like the Wrecking Ball, which is pretty decent on this map? I mean, you're not looking at like a choke fight at all. You're just running over to the right-hand side, swinging right onto the castle, and then over the top, and you're hoping Taejong can kind of follow up on the Tracer.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun pathings for the Tracer, and this map takes a lot of studying to find the right ways to get around, especially the defense. We're going to have some good power positions to be as far away as possible on the high ground, on the castle of Point B. But out of all the maps, this is a strong one for Genji's as well, to just get the climb up on Point B castle and surprise supports that are not expecting a DPS that close that quickly. So we'll see what Nico, Top Dragon, Dia, Taejong opt for.
Potential end of the line here for VARREL or ROC in this series. Map number 5. As we see VARREL start out on the defense, ROC on offense. This is a ROC map choice, as VARREL took Atlas to get us here. And we see VARREL yet again default to this hyper defensive and very, very like heavy damage dealing backline. Slay back on the Alari, Cloud on the BAP.
Slay looked good when you had space and time to operate. Now you get to be at a distance, you get to defend. ROC Esports are going to chase them down with the Lucio. Fans are behind them, key on the line. ROC Esports going to roll out with the Ram Lucio. Taejong will try to explore the right side where KSG wants to deny that lane. All the poke coming out of Slay, Nico, and Cloud could be deadly. ROC Esports have to be careful on their approach. They could rotate left side to try and avoid that damage and take things one step at a time.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to do. Just slowly but surely here. Don't want to get poked out too early. Taejong is going to set his team up in a good position as KSG just falls over. No lamp there for Cloud, I don't think. He's going to get chased now as Taejong is going to push him out of position. That's a very quick cap for ROC. There's no chance here for VARREL to even recontest with this.
KSG just didn't get the memo to fall back.
Oh,
Last second
what?
touch from the Tracer.
I'm sorry, how? Legs just got smacked. I mean, okay, Nico does end up going down, so it's all on Top Dragon. KSG does make it back, but yeah, it's tough. 1 tank, 2 supports versus 4-man Wrecking Squad here for ROC. Lamp's dead, pylon down. Yeah, okay, it's over. First point cap, and the payload's gonna get moving.
Yeah, so I guess anyway, KSG was probably breaking LOS, trying to hold that forward position, needed to fall back quicker. Cloud and Slay may have been chased down from Taejong as well, and because of that late cap from ROC Esports, or that late recontest, I should say, ROC Esports get the heads up on taking control of this top castle, which is pretty bad. VARREL really wanted this position for the double flex, and namely Nico to get some poke in, and this is good progress for ROC.
Yeah, beautiful high ground control as well. KSG is kind of losing control of this, although Cloud is going to make it a little bit easier using that window, forcing Dia to rotate.
All right, VARREL were able to fight their way back at the top of the castle thanks to the window, but now getting a bit separated, will have to go to the second level, while also relying on Top Dragon to delay progress from ROC.
Oh, that window is going to be rather devastating to KSG's health bar. There's the captive sun coming in from Slay on the high ground. As Rhea has kind of swapped places currently, but Cloud a little bit too sharp for him, ends up jumping up to that high ground. Slay finds another with the outburst. Okay. Castle control is where they're going to make their attempt to hold. They need to kill Ballas Rhea though. They need to do that right now. Okay, there it is. Can't let him survive for too long, especially since Dia was on the high ground. There you go, Nico with the double kill on the DPS.
Yeah, VARREL is just trying to rotate together. They don't want to overly rely on Top Dragon to be solo on cart, and when you have an Alar, you kind of want to stack together as much as you can, or at least just work together as a team. And then ROC Esports took the high ground. Nico made things difficult though, forced ROC Esports to reset, respawn advantage, but KSG is on the low ground. Beat advantage for Lengsa.
Whoa, that was an early beat for Lengsa. They're going to have to get kills now, and yeah, Nico's going to be the target. Roll straight into that small room. Nice lamp from Chamomile, but the Annihilation coupled up with that Vortex just ends the life of Chamomile. Dia on an off angle currently. He's got the overclock, but he's just shooting shields right now. And KSG bids him adieu and ends up just running away, and Top Dragon from the top rope. Dia head in hand as Nico and Top Dragon take matters into their own.
Yeah, really early beat, as you mentioned, from ROC, and they thought they could just try to take down KSG, but the rest of VARREL were far away. And even with the speed, they could not catch up to VARREL's defenses. So another reset from ROC Esports. And Taejong had a big impact at the start, and they had a swift cap, so ROC Esports have some insurance in terms of time, but it's so awkward to rotate out in the open. You don't want to get shot by Nico. ROC Esports have to be careful of Top Dragon also lurking around.
Trying to force lamp. They're trying to force lamp, and oh, Camo doesn't even pop it. Pulse bump on the floor. Oh, what? He still kills Dia. Oh, this rotation is disastrous for ROC. It's a 2-minute time bank remains. And VARREL, oh, they're looking so good on this map right now. This comp is honestly perfect for holding this point.
Yeah, ROC Esports are opting to take the right staircase instead of the bottom door, and that opened them up to VARREL dropping from the low ground and just hitting them from behind. ROC Esports really have to protect their backline. Ballas Rhea is going to have to turn around and react to the drop down of VARREL, and now the window for Cloud could just end this fight before ROC even get to safety.
Yeah, Dia's like he's trying to peek his head outside, see if he can get an initial kill. Top Dragon still in the backline too. Struggle street for ROC right now. This high ground is, oh, it's really hard to get up to. They've been trying over and over, but okay, well, oh, Downpour does end up connecting actually through the wall, but Ballas Rhea has no staying power.
Immortality was insane from Cloud too, because Nico got rooted. ROC Esports still trying to rotate to the castle, and they're using the ults but not getting the kills they're looking for. This backline of VARREL is clutch, and KSG is anchoring the cart, so you can't just free push if you're ROC and bring the fight to you. VARREL is dictating the pace and when the fights begin.
As soon as they come through this choke as well, this Captive Sun is going to light up this map. It's an early Nemesis form. Whoa! Okay, Taejong just caught out. Oh, I don't think Captain Sun's even needed it, but hey, it looks good. 40 seconds to go, and what is that I see? Belarus, wrong side of the map. This stagger is horrible for ROC. This might cost them the map. He's got to die, just die. Let your arms down.
Take the hug, take the L. ROC Esports, this is time you could not afford to lose. And okay, at least it brought VARREL away from the card. You get progress, and ROC get top castle, but the window can't be used.
Yeah, they're just going to run away. They can't stay around. That's got to be a big mistake for Belarus. They're not dying early. KSG pops the annihilation, chasing Chamomile away. An easy shot for Nico, as Belarus is back in the old faithful, the wrecking ball, but KSG standing tall on the payload. As VARREL looking to halt it here. Dia, though, from the top rope, kills 2, but still have to get through KSG.
And you have to keep this overtime wick burning. It's up to Taejong, and he's already almost at health. And man, the poke is too strong.
A double kill from the Alari. Got to deal with that pylon eventually. And KSG refuses to be removed, but I think he's going to be forcibly ejected from this point now.
All thanks to Dia, ROC Esports can still live on. The Belos what looked like to be an int brought VARREL out of their power position, and ROC Esports head towards the end of point B off of a first blood from Taejong.
He's flash. Oh, Dia escapes with his life, but a good position for Nico to be in. Taejong ends up killing Slay off of the rip, and oh, he spotted 2 low health players in the back line, but no, the double hit. He slinks away. High noon for Nico on height. Everybody has to scatter, and there's one for Nico, another for KSG, and that will be where the payload ends. VARREL halting ROC just on the bridge, as ROC, they made a good go with it, but that castle defense from VARREL looked impenetrable.
That push got further than we expected, got out the castle gates. Belarus had to pull VARREL almost to the end of point B, just so we could see some movement, but this push is not far at all. Top Dragon pulse at the end too, got players in position for the Nico High Noon to knock them all down. And this is the ROC Esports map pick. And I almost wanted to see the Belarus Hammond come out way earlier to just displace these castle defenders that just were poking and prodding, dropping down from the high ground, and had total control of this entire map. VARREL, more studied on this map and had a much better defense. But now they'll have to push through on the attack. Wondering if they're going to opt for a Lucio to help those rotations, or just going to let the damage do all the talking.
I said maybe we go to another if a draw was available, but no longer. The map will end on this round, as ROC try to put up the defense now. Feels like such a good map for VARREL, but they might have a tough time getting through that choke, getting through those double doors if they get the cap. They can get a good fight, a good clean one. If they take castle early, there's success written in their future.
Now if Belarus wants to be aggressive, Lynx on the Lucio will help him. One of Lynx's best heroes as the Kiri is banned. This is going to be their best option. Now trying to generate that window as fast as possible. The Top Dragon gets marked here by Lynxa. Wants to get into the back, but Dia, first blood!
Good kill on Nico. Not invested too much though, not even over pushing. Smart play from VARREL, just quick reset.
VARREL are still trying to work the map options of setting up Top Dragon on the right, pull attention towards perspective left here. VARREL still trying to avoid all that poke. They get close to the point. Top Dragon has made the space, got the attention of ROC.
Just a menace, yeah. Dia's having to look 2 different ways right now. Takes a little bit of damage there from KSG. Of course, those punches are penetrating through Belarus. Lamp already used this. Oh, Taejong caught out. KSG just finishes him with a left click as Top Dragon is just turning the ire of ROC Esports right now, who've given up control of the point. That's 1 tick, guaranteed a second as ROC try and force their way in.
Now wait for the final tip, but Belarus just gets handed.
Yeah, GLHF, no chance here on this first point. And Chamomile forced to go for a delayed reset. And Lemon, this is it. They need to push Castle now. They get positioning with this comp. It's going to be a nightmare for ROC to take over.
It's all about that momentum, and because of that late recontest from ROC, same thing that VARREL did, you're going to have this early castle position. ROC's going to try and fight through it. They'll have window. Riyadh is at the tip of the spear. He has to go up against KSG, who's close to annihilation.
Oh, that's a very, very passive lamp there by Chamomile. Window very aggressive, however. Annihilation, Window, they're just going to run through them. Dia, wrong place, wrong time. VARREL keeping the payload going.
You just can't stop VARREL, and they won that off of just the annihilation and better positioning. ROC just could not poke them down with the amp. Lexa has to save them with the sound barrier. You're not even stacking 3 on cards. The final fight for VARREL to pull off the upset.
Yeah, Nico's got this high noon. I mean, this is a disgusting amount of ults right now. Oh, and now you have to deal with this window too. Oh, Bellisria just walks through though with that Nemesis form, but Nico is pretty damn low. Sound barrier hits 3 from Lexa. Annihilation on the point. A fully charged Deadeye, and Bellisria is low. Oh, Dia! He hits 2 with the high noon. Has to deal with Slay on the sidelines, but he's good for 2 at least.
Clutch annihilation from Bellisria to save him during the high noon. The immortality from Chamomile to assist his tank, and Dia takes over to get the kills to stabilize ROC. Now it's time to fight for the bridge. This is what's going to overlook the payload, and VARREL are out of ults.
Tough spot for them to be in now, retaking the castle. Oh, Cloud. Yep, get into cover. They're taking a little bit of damage though as KSG appears out of nowhere there, going up the stairs. Open to trying to trade position as Cloud jumps up, hits the regenerative burst onto KSG. Dia, wrong place. Uh-oh. Dia, a mistake. Drops down to low, thinking maybe he can kill Cloud, and the final push is coming. Bellisria down. The weight of Japanese Overwatch on VARREL's shoulders, and they've done it! A map 5 versus ROC, and they take the victory. A region that hasn't been represented in Overwatch in an ungodly amount of time. A big win on the stage. Head in hands for ROC. A game they thought was winnable, but VARREL, they can hold their heads high. Their journey has not come to an end yet, but now they get the honors of crushing ROC's key and moving on into the later stages of this group.
Best team in Japanese history, going flawless in their own region. They have not seen international competition in years. They bolstered their roster, importing Slay and Top Dragon from Korea. And what an impact they've had. Top Dragon getting behind the tank, not allowing any anchor, any staying power from the other side. Parts of Team Japan that can now get closer and closer to big wins, to maybe get to playoffs, to maybe pull off another upset. But one step closer, another life, one key crushed, and the region proud of VARREL.